Guys, check out this article title. Deion Sanders presents lose-lose situation for Colorado. Pac-12 head coach says. They didn't mention the name of the Pac-12 head coach, but they're saying that Deion Sanders, not Coach Sanders, not Coach Prime, but Deion Sanders presents lose-lose situation. So we're going to talk about it. Stay tuned. Guys, please do me a favor. Before we get into this video, please give us a like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also hit the bell notification so you can get updated on my latest content as it drops. All of that will be greatly appreciated by me. First off, let me preface this video. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion, right? But there's something to this title because multiple outlets are reporting the same thing, and they reported it at the same time. So there's something going on here, and I'm going to read this article, and then I'm going to give you my opinions at the end. Deion Sanders took Colorado head coaching job in December, which garnered both tons of praise and criticism. But one of his opposing head coaches sees no positives with Coach Prime and the Buffaloes at all. A Pac-12 head coach says the school is in a lose-lose situation. It feels like a lose-lose for Colorado with Prime. Either he's going to be really good, very fast, or leave for another gig, which looking at this roster doesn't seem possible, the coach said anonymously via Athlon Sports. The alternative is that they're going to be bad and they're going to end up firing him in a big circus. Jackson State was so good because they could get FBS level guys to beat on FCS rosters. That won't happen here. They're not a good roster right now. How does he handle losing big? We haven't seen that. And then they went on to say that Sanders went 27-6 at Jackson State, including a combined 23-3 the last two seasons. And it says they went on to say this coach isn't the only one to be skeptical of Sanders. Since Sanders took over as head coach of the Buffaloes, Coach Prime has overseen a massive roster overhaul as he attempts to build a winner in Boulder. While some players enter the transfer portal voluntarily, the NCAA stipulates that first-year head coaches may cut players from the roster, though the university must honor the players' scholarships. Now, I do like that rule. They must honor their scholarship because if you're a player and you know you're not going to go pro, but you at the institution that you want to continue your studies, they allow you to go for free. And I love that particular rule. That's not the way it's meant to be, Coach Narduzzi told 24/7 Sports last week at the ACC spring meeting. That's not what the rule intended to be. It's not to overhaul your roster. We'll see how it works out. But that, to me, looks bad on college football coaches across the country. The reflection is that one guy right now, but when you look at the overhaul, those kids have moms and dads and brothers and sisters and goals in life. Then Narduzzi went on to say that I don't know how many of these out of the 70 left really on their own or they were kicked in the butt and forced to get out. Despite questioning his methods, Sanders does have Colorado back in the spotlight as he approaches his first year on the FBS level. Now, first of all, we don't know the coach that said this. In fact, I don't even believe that a coach said this. I believe that these so-called writers, they all got together and came up with this story. Until you tell me which coach said this, I'm not going to believe you. Now, I just want to say this to the current players because they also attack the players, and I don't think it's fair to attack these young student athletes. They're saying if you look at the roster, they're not good. They're attacking the players as well. Here's my advice for the players. Do not read these headlines. I want you to ignore them because they're trying to get in you guys' heads. Because remember, this is a mental thing because they know looking at the roster, they know that you guys are good. In one hand, they report that Colorado is number one in the transfer portal. And then on the same hand, they're saying that the team is not that good. And then also they say that you guys are not gelling together. That's not what I see. Thanks to Bucky, Deion Sanders Jr., we get to see a glimpse of what you guys are doing, and it does appear that you guys are gelling together. My advice is to ignore these so-called analysts because Fox News and all these other outlets are reporting the same thing. They're all saying a lose-lose situation. It's to get in you guys' heads, okay? and trust me, this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is going to get worse. The coverage is going to get worse. Now, my question to these writers and whoever said this, tell us the coach that said this. Who said that this is a lose-lose situation? And then also, my other question is, are they psychic? Is this coach psychic? Because you don't know what type of season that Colorado is going to have. You don't know. We're not going to know until the season starts and progresses on what type of season they're going to have. And let's say he do have a losing season. Okay, well, Coach Prime inherited a team that won one game last year. One game, just one game. Okay, if he does get to a bowl game, that's just even more the better. And also, my question is, what was he supposed to do? He inherited a team. He also, Coach Prime told the story that when he first met with the team, one of the position rooms, they were playing music. They were on their cell phones, all types of things. This is not tolerated. Basically what the players were telling Coach Prime, they didn't really care who he was. That was a lack of respect. Those are not players that I'm going to keep on my team. Me personally, I'm not going to keep, because I'm old school as well. You're not going to be on your cell phone and playing music in a team room. It's all about business. You have a incoming head coach with the caliber of a Coach Prime, and you know the resume that he has, and you're already showing a lack of respect. So why are you guys expecting him to keep these kids on the team? Why? Lincoln Riley wouldn't do it. He wouldn't tolerate that. Nick Saban wouldn't tolerate that if he's in a room, they're playing music and he's in there. He's not going to tolerate it. So why would you want Coach Prime to tolerate it? Listen, these articles, they're done on purpose, but guess what? I'm here and I'm going to make these videos to counteract what you guys are doing. Again, to the players, please ignore these articles. In fact, do not listen to these articles. Do not read these articles. Okay? Only surround yourself with positivity. That's it. Do not read these articles. I want you to act like these articles do not exist. Okay? The moment you see my title, do not listen to my video as well, because I'm sitting here addressing these people here because I know exactly what they're doing. So when you see, I'm making my title very obvious. Deion Sanders present lose-lose situation. When you see a negative title like that, do not read this video. Do not listen to my video. Do not do it, because I don't even want you paying attention to anything. The only thing you should be worried about is your school, practice, and getting ready for the season. When they put these articles out, they are getting into your head. They're trying to get into your psyche because they know that's ultimately how you're going to lose. You're going to beat yourself. But just for the writers, I want to talk to you for a second. Until you tell us who the head coach is, I don't believe you. I don't even believe that a coach said this. Most of the coaches, they're worried about their upcoming season as well, especially the coaches that are facing Colorado. They are worried about getting their teams together to face Colorado. They're not talking about a lose-lose situation because they don't know. You don't know if he's going to have a lose-lose situation, and you don't know how these players are going to work together and possibly win. You don't know until the season starts. So that's why none of this makes sense. But then actually it does make sense to me, because all these articles were put out at the same time, which means that there was a collective meeting and say, this is what we're going to do. We're going to put this article out, because this article doesn't make any sense. And then you also said, see, they're minimizing what he did at Jackson State. They know, listen, guys, they know exactly what Coach Prime is capable of doing. They know exactly what he did at Jackson State. He took a team and started winning immediately. The first year, I believe he lost 4 games. But each year that he was there, he improved upon the last year. They know this. And they know that it was a complete roster overhaul at Jackson State. But what did they say? Well, he took some, let me just go back to the article to make sure I get this right. He got some FBS level guys to beat up on some FCS rosters. So they're trying to minimize his success at Jackson State. Oh, he took some guys that should have been at the FBS level, and they're playing low-level competition. This is how he was able to win. And he's surely not going to do this here. He's not going to do this here. I'm saying this is a mental game. Even Coach Prime, don't read the articles anymore. I'm sure he doesn't. I'm sure, see, Coach Prime he's a little bit more seasoned than, us. He's been in this damn near half his life, on the college level. And he's, I certainly don't think he let these articles get to him. But for the younger guys, it's time to just don't even listen to these articles, man. They're trying to get in your head. Because once you get a little bit of doubt in your head, when you go against a team like USC, you may lose if you have doubt. If you got doubt, you don't even need to be on the field. But these articles are a part of it. They're a part of it. There's nothing. Well, what about, is there any other coaches? See, I understand why they're talking about Coach Prime, because it's a lot of attention surrounding him, especially with this roster overhaul. Let me address that really quickly. But what about the kids? Don't they have dreams and aspirations and stuff like that? Don't we all? But this is the real life. When you at these Fortune 500 companies, you're here 1 minute and you're gone the next minute by way of layoffs. I've been through it in my life when I was younger. And guess what? You have to pick up the pieces and move on. It's all about winning. And then they also mentioned in the article that either he's going to win really fast or he's going to lose and they're going to fire him in a circus. Notice they said circus. Notice that. Listen, it's not going to be a circus here. It's definitely not. And they say, well, how is Coach Prime going to handle losing really big? How is he going to handle that? Because they know that he's won everywhere he has gone, whether it was the NFL, whether it was the National Baseball League, wherever he's gone, he's been a winner. And there's something they know that there's a method to his madness, folks. They know it. They know that there's a method to his madness. That's why they're trying to minimize what he did at Jackson State, saying he got some FBS level guys to pick on some FCS level guys. They're minimizing. They're doing this by design. But here's an interesting situation here. We got pages like mine and others that are painting this team in a good light. So they have to come and counteract what we're doing. But wait until the season starts. That's all we have to do. Wait until the season starts and then we'll see what happens. And me personally, let's say if they did have a losing season, I'm like, well, he inherited a team that only won one game. They're putting together something here. Sometime Rome wasn't built overnight. That's what they tell me. It wasn't built overnight. And guess what? Rome didn't crumble overnight either. Why did I say that? Rome wasn't built overnight, right? But Rome didn't crumble overnight either. Rome crumbled from the inside out over time, and it broke up into factions. Now listen to me. Well, the reason why I say that is because this team has been losing for a long time. They haven't had a winning season in a long time. That's not Coach Prime's fault. This is what he inherited. So he felt like he had to take some measures to make him feel comfortable about going into this season. There's nothing wrong with that. And they're saying that that's not what the rule intended for first-year coaches to come in and do a roster overhaul. No, that's what the rule says. He can do that. And it's been done before. Okay, it's been done before. Bear Bryant, Lincoln Riley, it's been done before. But they're not going to report that. But I am. I understand what they're doing here. I really do. They are trying to get and attacking the student athletes. Oh, we just based upon looking at the roster, they're not any good. Listen, based upon, let's say if he had kept the team, right? If he had kept the team intact. Well, based upon that roster, they're not going to win anything. In fact, I was one of the people that was saying they look small. It looks like a high school team out there. Okay? They don't look like that anymore. I call it how I see it. I don't sugarcoat anything. I said they look very small. They look like a high school team. I don't know if it's because of the jerseys. I don't know what it is, or because of the padded helmets. I don't know what it is, but they look really small. Oh, that's changed. So what were you guys going to say if he had kept the team together? Would they had won any football games if he had kept the team intact? And then the only thing he did was bring Shador and Shiloh and Travis and Cremani. If he had just Simon Craig, if he just bought them, if he just brought them in and kept the team intact, would they have won any football games? That's my question to these so-called experts. They're not experts, man. Half of these writers never played football a day in their life. That's just what it is. I'm gonna say it. They have a problem with Coach Prime coming in in doing this roster overhaul. You know why? Because it exercised power. Who is he to do that? If Lincoln Riley had came in and did a complete roster overhaul, would they be talking about him the same way? That's my question to you. What say you? Peace. Thanks for watching, guys. But before you go, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also hit the bell notification so you can get updated on my latest content as it drops. If you have any video ideas, feel free to leave a comment below. Take care.